Good. Today? Today, yeah, okay,
Okay, we're recording.
okay. All right, so, want a roll call here? Did we ever do that? I don't remember, but anyway.
Yep.
Go ahead, Aaron, go ahead.
I'm Art Walker.
Edward Ryan, present.
Alice Real. I guess Walcott Davis is not here, and, Carl, Benson has resigned as chair of this committee. So I am sitting today as not interim chair, nothing like that. I'm just running the meeting. Okay, okay, so has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes?
Yes.
Okay, anybody have any changes? I noticed that on page 3, application 2025-03, first line, applicant has submitted a tree on the property line. I believe that's a typo.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what it is, so if it's some term that I'm not familiar with in the tree business,
Mhm.
I don't think it is.
I think it's between. I think it's supposed to be between.
Between, maybe?
Yeah, it seems like.
Anyway,
Okay.
that's the only change I saw. Anybody else have any changes that we saw in the minutes? No?
Well, perhaps we should bring up the issue of, the 110, where we don't have an application.
Not during the.
Not
minutes.
yet, we're just doing the minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so, somebody want to, move that we accept the minutes as amended?
I submit that we approve the minutes as submitted.
Okay, anybody want a second?
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, the minutes are, approved. Public comments from the floor?
Mind if we save those a little bit?
Hmm?
Would you mind if we save the public comments?
Of
for
course,
then?
I was assuming you were on, but Bill Gross is here, he always has something to say.
I'll take that for now as a kind word.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I looked into our code. We do not announce our name or address. We sign in. So I will do that. The only thing I really want to say was that Tara's being nominated to come on the board. I think it's a good idea. I think she's wonderful, and I think all you guys do a more than phenomenal, more than adequate job. So thank you all. I say that all the time, so don't think it's, I believe it and it's from the heart.
Don't think it's directed at us.
Don't take it personally.
Is that it, Phil?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, all right,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, okay, old business table, this is the house on, West Sixth Street that we wanted to remove the 2 trees, the ones that were, they said may be, affecting their basement. Now, I didn't go into the basement or anything like that, but I did drive by, and the picture, I believe, is a little, doesn't really give you the true situation. It's, the trees seem a lot closer than in that picture. So my guess is that they are affecting the basement. And the question I have is that enough for us to say, take them down? Because if we do, then we probably are gonna have to take other trees on Sixth Street down. We have another application, right? Ed?
Well, I don't think we officially have an application, but we received an email from the, city administrative secretary
Mhm.
that, the owner of the resident of 110 West Sixth Street has a very similar issue.
All right.
So it's not, has not been assigned an application number,
Mhm.
but, we're aware.
Right, but it gives us the sense that there may be other people who will be, if they get to take their trees down, if we take their trees down, then other people will be assuming that they can make the same requests, I believe. Don't you think? I think I'm reasonable to say that. So, I don't know, what do we want, let's discuss what we want to do here.
Are they the sycamores?
Yes.
Yes. I know,
So now there are 2
I
more.
mean, you're talking a huge amount of money.
I know. I know we are. we may not be able to take them all down.
From a,
I mean, the two, we might, I don't know how much it would be, but it would probably take all our budget to do those two trees, right? I mean, we have what, $10,000 left, 11,000, yes.
You may find that, it's something like 50-50 on the street. Where a lot of people support having the trees in there no matter what. I can think of a couple right offhand, but there are probably more.
Well, that's good.
So it's a very tricky thing to take down, you know, like 100-year-old trees.
It's brutal, and you know, as I've said this a couple of times, it's one of the only streets in the city that has a tree canopy. And it's really hard to think about,
Yeah.
you know, getting rid of those trees. On the other hand, destroying the property values of the home is also brutal. So what do you think, guys?
I think we should have someone, a certified person,
Inspected.
whether it's building or maintenance or an arborist. Yeah, inspect these trees and the properties, the one that's officially being discussed and one that probably will be an official application. They're both a similar distance from the property, from the structural property. They're both on the lawn, yeah, about equidistant. So I don't know if it's possible to test along the foundation of the property, sink some kind of, bore some holes to see if there are roots. If we impact, you know, roots are determined to be that close to the house. I don't know if this is.
Can I ask a question? Because this is something that it would seem to be a solution, which means to me, probably it's not, because it would have been tried before. You have a tree like a sycamore like that, and the roots are going under the house. Can you just cut off those roots that are going into the house, or would that destroy the tree?
Depends how many roots are going under,
But it's,
I mean, if
It's
those houses
possible.
have basements, the tree is not, most likely not gonna send roots down there, because there's nothing for it down there.
say that again?
If those houses have basements, the tree is not likely to send roots underneath the basement, because there's nothing down there for it. I mean, a basement's, you know, you're talking 8 foot down.
Well, I was thinking, you know, maybe they were growing beside it and then pushing it in or something. That's the way I assumed what was happening there, not that it was underneath, but
Well, it's possible. I mean, you could cut them.
you could
Depends
cut
how
them.
many there are. If
It
there's,
seems to me like we should try it, you know, because rather than cut down the whole tree, if we could do that, if we could eliminate exactly what the problem is rather than eliminate the tree. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. The tree's not gonna fall down the next day. If it ruins the tree, at least we'll know it can't be done and we would have taken the tree out anyway. Right? Am I right?
Yeah, I think we should determine whether the roots are against the foundation. And if they are, can they be cut out?
Yeah. You wanna make a motion to that effect?
My
But
question is,
how
who do
would
we
you-
have inspect this?
I mean, the only way to dig it is to get a backhoe in there, and then the backhoe is gonna rip the roots anyway. Unless you try, you can try trenching it or dig it by hand, but even if, well, a trench will just bump over, but it'll damage it.
What do you think we should do now?
Burden of proof on them.
Okay, so we need to get them to show us exactly what the roots are
Right.
doing. I think that's right, because,
From the interior foundation?
Yeah, I mean,
or even exterior, they can show from exterior.
well, I don't think they would.
Let them
say
get the
that.
backhoe, is what I'm saying.
Well, but show interior damage in the basement.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I agree with Ron, I mean, if you cut two down, they're all gonna go.
or at least probably 75% of them will go, yeah.
So we have a lot of issues with those sycamores on that street. It's all in the same, very close vicinity.
Right.
There's the issue at 104 West Sixth, the 7 trees that gentleman asked, Mr. Wright asked to be trimmed. I haven't seen any evidence that there's been any trimming done there. I thought you said you saw an
This was a
MSC
while
truck,
ago.
but
This was,
I didn't see anything having been cut.
really?
I
There
looked
was a
pretty
yellow
closely.
truck there. That's MSC, right?
Well,
I
The City
assume that
Works
they cut
also
around
has a
the
yellow-
wires or
a
something.
yellow bucket truck.
Yeah.
I didn't even see any evidence that branches were trimmed around the wires.
Oh,
So that's on the corner of Tremont and Sixth. Then there's 110, couple doors south. And that does have a full basement. I grew up in that house, so I know what's going on there. And this house is on the other side of the street, but also right near Tremont.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's a lot of issues with the London Plains.
Yeah. And
Mr. Vukovich.
yeah, there's one other issue, about 3-4 years ago, we took 4 London planes down on the corner of Delaware and Sixth and, you know, on all 4 corners, there were London planes. And the rationale for it isn't something, well, I guess I didn't want to, I was looking at it over the weekend, but the rationale had something to do with ranches being over the houses and the insurance companies not covering it. And I think it was Miss Travers who was on the corner there. And so those all came out. As a matter of fact, we took 4 down and then 1 up.
Do you remember how much they cost to take down? Let's get a sense.
I don't remember that, you know, but I'm just suggesting it because it could be used by someone as a precedent. You know, you've taken other trees down, that's, you know, part of this group. Why not mine?
You have to say the ones that take down are diseased.
Yeah,
Well,
You remember when that was? When they took those out off the
Uh,
intersection of Sixth and,
probably about, I can check on it, probably about 3 years ago.
so we might be able to look back and find out what the cost was.
Kathy can do that.
poor Kathy.
What was she never wants to volunteer. She's always standoffish on that one.
We always assume she knows everything too. You notice that? But, okay, well,
Oh,
here, I'm gonna make a motion. Yeah, sorry.
We just reconnoitered here. Just recently, about a year ago, number 411 on Delaware Street. A London plane that was 42 inches across.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a little over $6,000 to take down, and the homeowner paid for half of it.
Oh, okay.
But-
Funny,
Bless you.
thank
I
you.
was thinking it was gonna be more like 10, so that's actually better than I thought.
Pretty significant.
I really, my family had a tree taken down. It was $9,000 in the backyard, so,
We go with the lowest bidder.
yeah. Well, if, all of this is gonna come to a head at a certain point, but my feeling is we get the most information we can before we make any decisions. So I move that we ask the homeowner for some, graphic, information about their, basement and, you know, and or roots. Okay? I make a second?
Yeah, I would second the motion
Okay.
to do
All
that.
those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we're tabling it with, till we get more information about the basement, correct? Yeah, okay,
Your motion was not to table.
okay. I move that we table it while we, request more information, specifically, pictures of the basement, and or roots, to make a decision about the tree. Okay, second,
I second the
Okay.
motion.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, so, and then we'll get that next application next month, right?
One more question.
Yeah.
Relevant to, related to this.
Yeah.
Whose responsibility or who wants to
I
take
don't know.
responsibility for
That's the
contacting
question.
the,
That's the question,
Homeowner.
isn't it? Do you?
can I do that? I don't mind.
Absolutely, good, thank you.
Okay.
All right,
Can we address the, situation at 110 West Sixth?
I don't
at the
believe we
same time?
can until, we get,
You can't make any decisions on it.
we can discuss
You
it
could
though.
probably,
Is it the same issue, the basement?
I think it is. Art has a copy of the email that Meredith sent.
Yeah,
This is Jones at 110.
yeah, I wrote back to that, told her
Yeah,
that
she's
she should get that
growing
person to file.
Into at the house, but doesn't specify. Doesn't specify basement says growing into pipes at the house.
Well, maybe we could informally ask for that same information from them,
Yeah.
so we would be able to discuss it, next month. Yeah,
Yeah, so this has been tabled, in February. So this will be the second.
yeah, I
time.
know,
So, yeah, I will talk to both parties and,
okay, thank you.
and see if we can have more.
Just a thought on it. Starting, next meeting, you will have a helper. Milt is the new code inspector.
Oh, he's gonna come to the meetings, is he? Oh,
Yeah,
good.
he couldn't make this one, but he will make the next one. But
Okay.
I was just thinking that maybe, and maybe it doesn't have to wait until next meeting if you act on it now. If you could send him information about it, it could be, thank you, Phil, his responsibility to, maybe get two, bids from two companies to come in and ascertain what's happening. And question I had, does TAC have any right? I know they have a right to go on the property and look at any situation which is dangerous to anyone in the community. You might check and see if you also have the right, again, with the permission of the homeowner, to go into the home and look. And maybe a professional person to do that, rather than putting the onus on you all to, take up the whole thing. And
What's the new code person's name again?
I only know him as Milton,
Milton.
but Kathy knows the last name.
Kathy knows everything.
Come on, just give us one good answer.
Could you share that with us?
That's Wikipedia there.
See, she doesn't wanna let us know her knowledge, because then we'll continue to ask her.
That would have worked, we wouldn't know.
Well, I'm sure Diane Delgado has the name and the email,
All right.
and Milt would be more than happy to
Okay.
help.
I'll take care of that. I'll
Yeah.
talk to Diane and get Milton's name
Yep.
and number. Okay. Okay, before we go farther, I don't know, is it our job right now I want to say first of all that Linda Susky is here, and she is going to be the new member of our committee, which is very exciting because she's very involved in, obviously, flora of the general sort, but also she wrote that article about the history of the tree planting here in town, so she's got a great background. And she's also a very nice person, so that helps a lot.
And
and she
has
will-
led the Arisapa Garden Club
Yeah, she does. I'm sorry, I should have said that.
for a number of years.
Yes, and also, she's going to be, appointed through the council meeting, next month, I guess. Tomorrow, this month. And then she'll be able to be part of the meeting, in May. Okay. So I think we should make her chair. What do you think?
Well, Alice, this is also sudden.
Pardon me?
This is also sudden.
I know, yeah.
I'm not sure we have the authority, but
I know,
it's a good suggestion.
But don't we have to, sort of like vote on, do you vote on the chair? Is that something, Kathy? Yeah?
You make a nomination.
I'm Alice, I'll withdraw my
Ah!
application.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I get it.
Tread carefully.
Okay.
Let's try another topic.
Huh?
Well, in the past, I think what's happened is it's kind of rotated. Where every year and a half, a new person steps in and kind of takes it over.
I think Carl did it for 3 years, but didn't he? Did he tell me?
I think
that
so.
had- No? Okay.
He picked it up when Sheila Shannon left,
Ah.
and she
Ah.
knighted him right in this room.
That should be in the code.
It's what?
That information should probably be in the code.
Okay.
You know,
All right, we'll table that until next month, I guess, when Linda will be here and she won't be able to quit right away. All right, so then we
Oh, I
go,
could resign.
oh, she could,
not until tomorrow.
again, I can't do it, so everybody knows. Okay, new business,
Can I go back to this one more time?
absolutely.
Is it possible to take a piece of rebar, a metal pole, and sink it near the foundation of the house? So it would only make a small impact in the ground, and see if it, if it connects, if it hits any roots, I mean, I know you wouldn't be able to go every 6 inches all the way across the frontal, part of the house, but whether, going down 6 feet would reveal any roots near the foundation.
Well, you could go where it looks like inside the foundation is having a little bit of a problem there,
It might be.
But even at that, don't you think it would be pretty obvious that, if you look inside and it seems to be like imploding, cracking?
Mhm.
I don't know what else it would be. I guess it could be water, but I don't know.
Okay, sorry to bring that up again.
No,
That was
no.
tabled.
Reading protocol, because I'm here to remember, since I'm coming on, I'll be appointed hopefully tomorrow night.
Yes, your input
No,
would be.
I'm sorry. You can't,
Norman suggested having a professional and have it be on the.
Yeah, I'm
owners
gonna call
To document that.
Diane and to ask Milton to.
Yeah,
Well,
I feel better because, just because there's an issue with the wall doesn't mean tree roots are causing it. I'd rather. have somebody
just a
like-
point of order. You really should not insert yourself into the discussion
Sorry.
at this time. You
Just
can,
disregard my comments.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm gonna call Diane tomorrow, and I'm also gonna check to see if we have, or if Bill knows if we have the ability to bring in professionals to go onto somebody's property to check out their foundation.
He's
No.
the code inspector, he should be.
Hmm?
If he's the code inspector, he should be able to.
Yeah, you're right, you're right. I can imagine how difficult it must be, you've got these beautiful trees in front of you, but now your basement is disintegrating. A problem. Anyway, okay, so new business. Omar Solomon from 900 Clayton Street removed 2 trees. Why did he want these trees removed?
The application says,
Intertwined with cable lines?
well, I can tell you for certainty that those trees are no longer there.
Oh, really?
They have been removed, their stumps have been ground. And
How'd
this
that
is a new application, so not sure what what our next step is, but these are gone.
How did they get gone?
No idea. I went past there today and you can tell that they were recently, well, it looks like the stumps were recently ground. It's obvious that trees are gone. That's
So is this
immediately apparent.
was this an example of say I'm sorry rather than please?
I checked the code and there is a fine possible for
Yeah.
removing city trees without permission. I don't know if there's some way that maybe the city did this prior to us reviewing it, or whether the homeowner made that decision. The house is on Clayton Street. The front of the house, it's 900 Clayton Street, but these trees are on 9th Street. Between Clayton and Young. And they are gone. So I guess the question is, maybe we find out from the homeowner how they were removed.
Is that a code violation or is that
Yes,
something beyond?
He's in the papers that Ron gave us 2 meetings ago.
Mhm.
We read, then we're gonna discuss it next one, we never did. It's in there.
So
We,
Milton would be
we
able
can
to,
find them and make them pay for the cost of the
Okay.
tree.
all right,
Section 210-6, any damage to or removal of street trees without a permit or prior approval shall be a violation of this chapter, subject to fine and enforcement action under 210-17 of this code. Of this chapter, rather. And further in the code, it talks about what the penalty is or a fine.
what is it?
I think it may be $500 per tree or the
Yes.
cost of replacement.
and replacement, I think.
Now, is that, if there's a code violation, does Milton just give them a fine notice or is there more process than that? Do you know? Does somebody in the city have to approve it beyond Milton? Anybody know? Okay.
In 10 years, I don't think there has been a fine levied at any of these meetings.
No,
I don't recall one.
no, but I don't remember anybody filing an application after you've done the thing too, you know, it's. Like I said, it's saying sorry rather than please, you know.
Yeah, I don't think any of us were aware of it, because when the lady ran over the one, we ate it.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
Well, that would have been damaged though, right? This is just,
no, it was knocked
It was
completely
totally
over.
knocked off.
Snap, snap
And then it only,
on the ground.
it was one of the trees that had recently planted.
oh,
But if we had known it, then we could have gotten her to pay for it.
right, right. Okay, well,
A little different though, that possible accident, she met back didn't, you know, it could have been a traffic, you know, an accident,
It was poor driver.
perhaps not. But this is clearly,
watch yourself.
and these trees don't look like they were in bad shape.
No.
So I think
Didn't like it.
this sounds like something that we may need to bring to. the
Right,
Milton
so
attention.
I move that we refer this application to the new code enforcer, Milton. Blank, for action.
I would agree. I would,
Second?
second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, the second application is removal of tree along the Markel Trail. This is interesting. This Mr. Alvini, is he the person whose the tree is interfering with? I was just curious about why he found this.
Two pictures of those trees on Ninth Street. Well, while I was there, I also looked at this application, looked at the location.
Mhm,
Mr. Albini lives at 106 10th Street.
mhm.
He has a brick and concrete wall that parallels the Markel Trail, which is kind of right behind St. Anthony's Social Club.
Okay,
Cross the trail, and then Mr. Albini's property, it juts the trail. I looked at these trees, I thought they looked pretty healthy and in pretty good shape. They don't seem to have a lot of dead limbs or growth. And they don't hang over Mr. Albini's wall onto his property. I could see where the area could use a little cleanup. A smaller brush. But these trees that are indicated in the highlight, that are circled, highlighted in red. So you can see the wall on the right-hand side,
right.
that would be his property line.
Oh, okay.
And these are all on the outside, and they don't impact the wall or hang over his property. So I don't really see any issue,
Yeah, I
but
don't.
that's just one person.
Well,
having-
you know, I was thinking the same thing. He does say that the trail is unkempt. Maybe that's his real concern, you know, that it's not being kept up or something. But,
Question.
Didn't you look into that
Um,
not too long
Yeah,
ago?
we did.
And
I'm
yeah, I
not,
mean, if it's a little Marquette Trail, more than likely probably would be the state, it
Right.
wouldn't be a city tree. So I don't think there's nothing we could probably
we
do.
can't even do anything about it anyway.
Yeah, I don't think we
That's
can.
not our
about these.
jurisdiction, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. What would that be, Denrick or Delta or what? Recreation, I guess would be Denrick, maybe?
I would have to check the parcel that these trees are in. That would tell me about the owner
Yeah, okay.
of it.
All right, so let's table that for now while we determine, I'll make a motion that we table it, so we determine who actually owns the trees in question. Second?
Second,
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, okay, so then, next thing item is the budget report. I handed you guys this, bottom line remainder. We have here is, $3,580 for planting and $11,390 for removal and maintenance. That that still leaves us $14,970. The two items above it are actually things that we haven't paid yet, but are about to be paid. Or when we get the bills, so. Oh, thank you. Is this a bill?
Yes,
Is this Mr. Miller bill or is this yours, Norm?
it's, gateways.
Okay, all right, good. All right,
Mr. Miller's bill's already,
Yeah.
that was submitted a while ago.
right, okay, good. All right, so that's another 4,300. And this brings up the question, which is kind of ironic because at the beginning of this year, or whatever, budget year, we were concerned that we wouldn't have enough money for the planting. Now, our removal has been virtually non-existent this year. So we have this money, $11,390, which we could remove a tree with, maybe two. But but we could also spend it. We need to spend it before the end of the season because if we don't, the committee the council will look at it and say, well, they didn't need that much money, obviously, because they couldn't even spend it. So we have to find places to spend it. And my feeling is that what we do now is take some of that money that it was now for removal and maintenance, and we move it over to, we're already gonna have to do that because this is more than is left in the planting part of it. But maybe we take a couple thousand or 5,000 and we move it over to planting and we add to our orders for, I don't know, I guess spring is gone, so it would be like fall planting, right? It would be ordering right now. How does everybody feel about that? Do you know what I'm saying? Did I send it? Did I say it right? Okay.
I believe that it's time to order trees for fall planting,
Right.
and that would be a good way to,
We don't have any money here left because I just got this bill is $4,500. So if any money that $4,200, any money that we spend would have to be coming from the maintenance. My feeling is let's move $5,000 over to the other column and use that for buying more trees.
or we could address, I agree with that.
Okay.
We also could address the 7 stumps that need to be ground out.
We have a bid out for that. I think it's $1,705, but nobody's done it yet.
Or do you know how many trees that was? How many stumps that was?
I-
$1,700?
I believe that was for all the ones that were left.
Now the number's up to 7,
Is it? I don't know. I don't have that
to
bill
my
in front of me.
knowledge.
I don't have that bill in front of me. That would still leave $6,400 left. We took the 5,000 off of there to buy more trees. It would still leave $6,000 for tree removal or pruning or whatever we have to do. I think what's happened is we haven't removed any big trees, and a lot of the smaller ones have been done by the city or the municipal MSC. So we've really gotten a break this year from that. So what do you think?
Now, we have a lot of trees on the list still to be pruned or removed.
We do?
Yeah.
Well, what, have we not sent out for, or
No,
for
I think,
bids for that?
Mr. Delgado is aware of them. His last email to, Mr. Benson was that it would take several months to catch up with the list that he has, which would
For
be
them doing it,
into-
right?
Into June,
For them doing it? Or for things that,
for them to do it.
okay, are there any on there that would have to be bid out?
On Sixth Street, the sycamores that were going to be trimmed at 104 West Sixth. I think my notes show that we were waiting for a bid.
Oh, we're getting a bid for that, even though we haven't
That's what,
decided
Mr.
yet to
Delgado
do it?
About and told Mr. Benson.
We never agreed to remove those though, right?
It's not removal, it was
It
pruning.
was pruning, yeah,
Pruning, okay, pruning. What was, oh, he's getting out for bids for pruning, okay.
but that's been going on for several months.
Will Milton be able to help us with that?
Hopefully,
Ask the new guy. Okay. All right. Now, okay. I don't know, maybe, let me call Mr. Delgado. I don't know him. but
It was
let's see where we are with that. for the
twenty
trim.
twenty-four 13 was the application number.
Huh?
2024
2024.
13,
Okay.
104 West Sixth Street.
104. Is that your home again?
No, it's a couple doors from the
Okay,
110.
All right,
This is right on the corner of Tremont, Sixth and Tremont.
okay.
And
Is that big tree that they really wanted to get rid of?
no, that's across the street.
Oh, it is, okay. All right. All right,
And the last note from Mr. Delgado was that they needed a bid. They couldn't do the work. It was too much.
okay, so Milton needs to get a bid then, or does he know he's doing that stuff?
I don't know if he does.
In days of yore, when Furio was the code inspector, he would come to the meeting and then you would have these
Yeah, I know.
discussions and then you would hand everything to
Yeah, we miss
Furio
him.
when he'd make the connection. And I'm just wondering if we could maybe maintain that same protocol.
Well, that's what I'm gonna find out, okay? I'm gonna
Yeah.
talk to the office tomorrow and try to get a hold of Mr. Milton.
That's
And,
it.
yeah, and see, I'll tell him Mr. Florio used to do that. Is that how
Yeah.
he's?
Furio?
Furio, okay. And that we would really love to have the help because we
Yeah.
really need it. Okay,
I think he wants to do it.
good. Oh, you've spoken to him?
I already chatted.
Oh, good, great, okay, all right. So spring planting plan, that's, all the planting has already been done, is that correct? My street looks great, West Fourth, thank you for all those trees, and they're all happy, very happy. And somebody, I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, but somebody mulched around my tree today. Does anybody know anything about that, or yesterday? Did you do that, Ron?
No, I
Oh.
didn't, but someone did that.
Yeah,
That was.
they weeded and mulched.
Gabriel Vasquez, yeah, and
Wow.
his nephew won yesterday.
Well, tell him thank you very much. It
Worked
looks
from 8 to
lovely.
4 yesterday. And
Oh, that's so lovely. Thank
did-
you.
Did the remainder of the Main Street, which is really my responsibility. And then because we were finishing a tree pit over there, they came over and I asked if they would mulch the whole thing. So
Well, it looks great. And,
that street's coming along and
Yeah.
it now has 18 trees on it, where
yeah, it's a,
2 years ago it had yours.
yeah. Well, we had a few down from me, but,
No, I'm talking about new trees.
oh, new trees. Yes, yes.
I included your tree as a new tree, given the fact that your tree was accidentally taken out and you needed something in the spot.
Yes.
And it's
thank you.
very interesting too
Yeah.
that Linda's here.
Yeah, right. Remember I mentioned that
can only
last,
think of
last
2
month,
trees
and
in
my
the
own
10
tree.
years That have been removed accidentally and the 2 owners are right here.
Our president.
Okay, so if we have the five, if we agreed to take the, have we done that, Art? Are you okay with the $5,000 moving into planning? I don't think we need to do that as a proposal or anything, because it's this really internally, we're doing this, okay. How, do we, who would be buying the plants? Who would be buying the trees?
I believe we would order them through Gateway Nursery.
Is that, but I mean,
Maybe
who
we-
does that? Would that you, Ron, or is that you, Norm, or is it us, or?
It's me.
Okay, all right, so $5,000. Go crazy.
We'd like to place an order. Well, perhaps more. I think we would have to look at where we're planting trees in the fall. But as far as the new planting, spring planting plan, there were 15 trees planted in town 2 weeks ago, I believe.
Mhm.
8 on Fifth Street by the library, 4 on West Fourth Street, 3 on East Second Street, 1 on East Third Street, and 6 trees, I believe, planted at the farm,
Yes.
to grow at the farm.
Oh, good. Were some of the trees that were planted from the farm?
Yes. Some of the trees were from the farm. I believe 6 of them. I think 6 were used from the farm and then replaced.
Okay. Does anybody have any discussion of the watering plan right now, or, do we need to talk about that?
Can we stay on the new tree?
Oh, sure, I'm
New
sorry.
tree, because that's what the village just handed us, I believe.
Oh, this is what you
This
just
is
said.
the one I was just referring to.
Yeah.
You know, I thought this might help people and they'd have a souvenir of
Yeah,
what happened.
so the second page that Ron passed out is the trees that I was referring to in my comments.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that references the 19 trees were planted.
60 more community, oh, look at that, wow.
You don't know Mr. Delgado, but he's responsible
Is he?
for a lot of this. Yes, he is.
Great.
Yeah.
I do have to meet him.
Me too.
You've never met him? either?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, if I'm gonna meet him, I'll get a hold of you and maybe do it together.
Yeah.
So just, to get,
If Art's available.
just, Art,
so
Art
can
too,
you-
I'm sorry.
The,
Art, I assume you're working. Are you working from home mostly, or
I'm back in the office now.
you're not, you are back in the office, yeah?
You're gonna have to put this together, Alice. This is not kid stuff. This is a real.
Okay, so these are people that we have agreed to plant trees for, is that right?
No, this is something like that. It's a historical document.
Oh, 2021.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
The idea has come up 3-4 times.
to do
Uh,
something like this? Or
Yeah,
This is
I
like
mean,
a
it's been,
template kind
it's
of?
only been an ethereal or an ephemeral idea
Mhm.
because we were unable to find the booklet. This is part of a booklet. And it has, it's like a ring
Mhm.
through, there it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's made up of maybe about 20 pages, and it's something that Kim had done some time ago.
so this is an extension of the same page, is that right?
Right, and
Yeah.
I just ran off something to give you an indication of what all the categories were across the top. The name, when, what the request was. And then the discussion point, and then was anything done with this? Now, you might notice at the very bottom, a name that's slightly familiar to you, and Ed came in contact with it last time.
Kathy Walsh? you're talking-
Kathy Walsh appeared, remember?
Yes,
And look at the date that goes.
I
with it.
know, it's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Well,
And
Sorry.
she just had satisfaction, I think, the
Oh,
last
good.
meeting, right?
Yeah.
Because,
Well, minimal trimming was done recently,
Oh, it was.
very recently.
Okay.
Enough to remove the branch from near the dormer of her house,
right,
but I wouldn't call it a very thorough pruning of those two trees at 172 and 178, 168, 170.
right.
That one wasn't touched at all to my,
Linda Gale, this was a gal that has appeared here maybe 3 or 4 times. Wanting, well, you were here last time, yeah. And again, started with trimming and then went to tree removal. And then Norman and I went down and looked at the trees and made some recommendations. I mean, this is a long, thing. But I think if we had a booklet like this, in like we used to have, when someone came in, you would know what's been done and what hasn't, and then what kind of promises to make.
I notice these are typed. How do you do that on a booklet?
I don't know, this was like about this wide.
Right, but I mean, it's
Bigger than
typed.
14, probably maybe like,
You have to take the pages out and put it through a printer, I guess. I don't know how that works. Anyway,
no, they just flipped.
no, but I mean, how did this information get on the book, in the booklet?
Well, I think Kim put it in.
Right,
Where
But she wasn't writing it in, she was
No,
typing it.
no, I think she.
Uh,
did you-
ironically, this
Okay.
is Carolyn Travers.
Is it-
Previously submitted applications to tag relative to large sycamore trees with limbs overhanging the residences. 4/1/4/21, tree removed. There it is, right there.
That's it. That's-
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that was 4 years ago.
that could be held against you at some point.
Also.
Depending on the decision.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Right,
You
right.
have precedent, yeah.
If you start taking, if you say, well, this can't be done, someone can say, well, it has been done.
Right.
And we just took out the London Plain very recently in this last year between Sixth Street and Seventh Street. Although it was only maybe about 10, 12 inches in circumference, but it was leaning out into the street. So we knew that it, in a short period of time, it would be a big decision. So the city could take it out. They did. And it, saved $6,000 down the line.
There aren't any costs noted, though,
No.
I noticed.
No,
Do you, have you talked to Carl since he resigned?
Yes, he was, with us at the tree planting at the library,
How about the stuff that he had that he kept so,
his binders.
yeah, his binders?
I didn't know he was not gonna be here too.
he was going to be here and then decided not to.
What is this? Besides a tree?
It looks like a prehistoric octopus.
It does,
It's
but it
exactly
is
what I
not.
was thinking, yeah.
This is something that is right out in front of Gail Seitz's house.
my blue car.
Yeah. that's right.
What is the
That's at
address?
55 the Strand.
Between 55 and 57 the Strand.
Well,
That's on my list of 7 stumps.
Yeah.
In fact, that's number 1 on my list, which doesn't mean anything other than that it's right at the top.
Yeah, that one was.
I don't-
I know that you've been out twice, or at least we've been taped off twice, and the first time the tape was just removed and not really sure what happened, and then the second time, a couple of holes were dug, you can see in the picture. I'm not sure why and why they left. So I think we were
Well, I
just
can tell
looking
you
for a
that-
status.
Some of the work from, is it Brandywine? I think they were saying, was not done because the land was frozen. And they were concerned that
Grinder.
the concussions of the hitting the ice would ruin some pipes or something. So I don't know if that's what happened here, but I do know that some of them were delayed for that reason. So it's possible that this is, we just had to wait till it got a little warmer. Of course, that won't work this week, but I think that might be the case.
Does anyone know if City Works, city department does stump grinding, or is that always outside? So why don't we ask Milton to get a bid to remove all 7 stumps soon while we still have the budget, so we can use the money before.
But we do have a bid. Isn't that the $1,750 that was the bid for that stump removal?
There's a bid out there.
Or grinding
The guy
stumps,
was sick. he didn't get
1705.
to it. Yeah, you have a bid.
Yeah.
Same
It's out
guy
there.
who's been doing it all along, is supposed to do it.
Yeah.
Well, we,
Remember, that was delayed for a long time because he didn't feel well. He was ill.
Right.
And then he couldn't do all of them because of the ice, the ground was frozen.
well, we need to get in touch with him, obviously,
Yeah.
and see how many stumps that relates to, that cost.
See, Carl would know that because he has that in his binder. I mean, I can get a hold of Brandywine, I guess, but I believe that all the stumps were that. I
Well,
think,
some of them are more recent because the trees have only recently been cut down.
okay, then I don't know about that.
No, mine was August. A branch actually fell onto the Strand. Luckily, no cars were parked there, but fell into the wires on the other side of the Strand. And so it was, there were only a couple branches left because it was really leaning over. So I think it was all done by MSC. I mean, they were out there like that
Yeah,
to take.
they
the
took that tree down,
But it was August.
but I don't believe that they have the capability of doing the grinding. I don't think so. At
This
least-
past August, 24? Well, it's been gone longer.
It seems longer.
It does.
And this is one of the 3 silver maples that Linda mentioned in her article that were planted in what, 1948?
Yeah, yeah.
You can see why they're not such a good tree, and this is gonna be very difficult to grind. I think there's gonna have to be some handwork that goes with it, and
That may have been what they found when they went there, you
a
know,
little nitroglycerin or something to,
Yeah.
kind of loosen it up.
yeah,
Yeah, because it's a real problem. Could I just make a couple
of course.
points here that, we had 19 trees planted, 6 coming from the farm, which is really good because they made it over the winter. Let's see if they all leaf out. 6 were also returned to the farm as new trees. 4 pink flares, which we got from Willoway, and then 2 Mesa Glows, 2 maples that came from Oregon. Very hard trees to get. So you now have 6 trees plus about another 7 or 8 out there. You probably have, close to another 12 to 15 trees that might be workable. All the trees, by the way, are on our recommended tree
Oh, good.
list. 6 of the trees that we did put in were community donated, so they were free to you. And I just wanted to mention that this is the first time that we really had members of the committee out helping with the planting. And Carl and Art and Ed all planted one of their own trees, which has to be a historic first. And of course, person behind me has planted about 5,000 of them.
I know.
On his life, so you've got room for improvement.
There's a lot of room for improvement. I don't know how these guys
Yeah.
accomplish so much so fast.
Well, and Ed and Art and I worked on that Friday and, really got a lot done. Just about wrapped up the tree.
Well, thank
pits.
you all.
Yeah, well, thank them. It was great that they jumped into it. And the watering schedule, that handout that I gave you that I said that Rick was involved with, I just, my great wisdom, was used. Which is very humorous because I'm making a guesstimate about which trees might come off and live if we don't water them for a good while. I happened to take 17 off, and it just so happened that we can cover all the new ones.
Oh, good.
Yeah. If
Did
the
we,
people on your street continue watering, they've been excellent about it, by the way. I mean, that was a
Well-
real experiment where we had a whole block of people that, with a little encouragement, volunteered to water the trees out from theirs. I mean, the trees are not theirs, but they did it and they kept them alive for 2 years.
yeah,
So if we get one more round like that, I mean, it would be a small miracle that.
well, the Campbells also watered down from them, the Joe and Sue Campbell, they live in the house that's up, well.
Oh, yeah, at Joe's. Yeah.
And
right.
they've watered actually trees that weren't theirs to make sure that they.
Watered one over, and I think you watered one over.
Well, every now and then, because my rain barrel died,
Oh.
so I'm having a little trouble there, but anyway.
Well, there's money in the budget for rain barrels.
Is there, okay. Did we order, here's the problem, Carl did so much, right? I mean, we left the meeting, we we're like on our way and free as birds, and he did all this stuff. And so I don't know if we ordered bags, and who would do that?
I suspect we did not.
Yeah, do we still need them, Ron, or not?
Yeah, we have enough bags to cover, but a lot of them have extra holes in them.
And you can get those right on Amazon, did you say?
Yeah, and you should be looking for the set of 8. And then periodically they'll come on for like about $21 or so for,
And you
if you
thought we
buy
needed
all
3?
8,
You thought we needed 3, is that right?
3 groups of 8. I think if you order about 24, that's part of maintenance,
Right,
right?
yeah,
But you kind of have to watch a little bit, because if you order them as a singleton or a double, they're usually about $25, $26 a bag. They're really set up to be used for what, maybe a year or two, and we're stretching it. These have been around for 4 or 5 years now. So I add periodically to it, but since you're so flush, I think it's a good opportunity for
We
you.
do have to spend that money. It's true.
Thanks.
Jump in, both. food
Yeah, right,
places, yeah.
exactly.
If you need shovels and rakes and everything, that's.
I never. Anyway,
I'll follow up on that.
okay,
Check tomorrow on Amazon, start looking, pricing these,
all right.
and am I authorized to purchase up to 24?
Oh, I mean, I should hit, I move that we purchased 20, what is that? 24.
Free watering bags.
24 tree watering bags, if, when, and if the price becomes, advantageous to us. Second,
I second it.
any, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good, done.
Thank you, Alice. And just make one short comment about the
Sure.
watering thing. What you notice on this are some minuses and pluses. The pluses, of course, we're adding trees, and the minuses was exactly, and you can see from the information here on the right-hand side, which is the east side of Delaware Street, we're cutting back significantly, and we're adding a lot more to the,
This is watering schedule.
this is a watering
Okay.
schedule. So this will be for this year.
Okay,
And I think just about everything is in here. But what's significant is that for our 5-year plan, one of the major ideas was to plant more on the west side of town. And now we're up to something like about 40 trees, where when we put that into effect, we had, single digits
right.
over there. So that's,
Mhm.
we're
That's great. It really is.
doing our duty. Yeah.
Okay.
Ron, have you talked to Mr. Delgado up with this? Yeah.
Yes, yeah, he already has it. Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
Is there anything else, Ron, that you want to talk about?
Let's see.
I don't think so.
What is the elm tree treatment proposal?
Oh,
Yeah.
I could comment on that
Good.
because I did look.
Mhm.
2 trees, one in front of the Amstel house. We had that cord maybe about, 2-3 years ago, and it was deemed healthy. And so probably something should continue there. I didn't even know it was happening, but that should continue. The other one is almost on the corner of the Strand and Delaware Street, and it's in front of the Jefferson House.
Oh,
And as you walk up the street towards the Battery, it's off to your left. And then I guess the question is it your responsibility? Because it looks to me like it's on Jefferson House property. Has to be 100 years old.
I know which one you're talking about. It's right in the side yard there,
Yes.
kind of. Yeah. Mhm.
And well put in the side yard.
Mhm.
Yeah, seems to be right there. So,
Art, can you check to see if that's in the private property or not? Is that something that you can do? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Does that,
Okay. And
does the treatment come out of the budget? Is that like the ash trees? that
yes,
We didn't know about, but now
Yes.
know about?
same thing, Norman, yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
who knows? I haven't seen anything about it.
No, I haven't seen anything in 10 years, and suddenly this popped
That
up.
email was clear,
Yeah,
Maybe it's fallen through the cracks for a while.
yeah. And again, I think it was $6,500 or so every 2 years to do that, so.
For the elm? For the elm
I
tree?
think for the 2 elm treatments, would that be?
It's a lot of money for 2 trees, isn't it?
Yeah,
Didn't get the invoice, that's, Antonina sent us an invoice
I think she did.
from
yeah.
Gateway. With that, they were, it wasn't an invoice, I'm sorry, it was a proposal for treatment.
yeah. No, it would have been from Bartlett or.
Oh, Bartlett, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon.
I think it was a continuation of treatment for 2 elms. Am I right? See what it,
So, I'm trying to find that.
Yeah. Because I was surprised when I saw it and I thought, well, this isn't a new proposal. This is something that's been going on. Like the ash trees.
Does that sound reasonable to you? $6,500 for 2 trees?
I think the bill for all the ash trees was something like $6,500. There were 18 of them at
Yeah.
the beginning.
I'm wondering if some of them have fallen by the wayside, but we're still, charging us the same thing perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah.
Seems crazy to me,
Yeah.
that much money.
The estimate is $3,073
Okay.
for the Dutch elm disease
Yeah, I'm
treatment,
wrong then. So it's $1,500.
Yeah, if it's only one.
if it's only one tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They may know who owns the Jefferson House. They may know who owns it. No, okay. Just curious. Okay, anything else that,
So we're gonna approve this expenditure
for what?
for the Dutch elm disease treatment? That they're looking for an
I
answer.
know, we're waiting to see if that tree is, on our property or not. Or if it belongs to the Jefferson House, at which point we wouldn't be treating it.
I thought we were talking about in front of the Amstel.
Well, that would only be the one tree though. That would be $1,500 or something. Whereas I'm guessing there's some savings for scale if you're doing 2 at the same time. I don't know, but
Sounds like we're only responsible for the one. Not that we've confirmed that, but it sounds pretty likely.
apparently we've done it before though. We've been treating that tree in the past, correct? I mean,
We didn't know it.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. How quickly would it be possible to find that out, Art?
I found out my software tomorrow.
Great.
When I go on
Maybe you could let us all know and then we'll,
email
be able to-
everybody on the list.
we could make a motion that, we will accept the, well, no, we'll need a new proposal if it's just the one, I think. I don't know if they're gonna just take it in half or not.
Given that the conversation has just kind of dropped off a bit, I'll just make one last point. I assumed Carl was going to be here this evening and I was going to thank him in so many ways, which I won't right now because it'll fall on deaf ears. But, and we were going to give him something for the future.
Oh, I wondered what that was.
Since he planted
Yeah.
a tree the other day.
Yeah.
I thought, this is the type of shovel that he used and he did admirably with it. So I thought that this would be a good thing
That's
for
really
all of
nice.
us to him.
Yeah.
And since he's not here, I'm going to give it to Kathy.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Ah.
Until the next meeting.
I think Carl's gonna be in the next meeting. I don't know. Did you find anything there or?
Well, it does reference one trees, one of the strands. Not to detract from your idea to present.
Oh, no, I just thought he needed something like this for the future. And by the way, he says he's going to stay with us and be part of the peanut gallery out here. And, yeah.
I was hoping he
Wonderful.
would be here today.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
So I make a motion that we find out whether the tree at the Jefferson House is on our property. If it is, accept the proposal as presented. If it is not, we ask for a new proposal.
I seconded
All
that
those-
motion.
All those in favor? Aye. You're aye for you too? Ed?
Aye.
Yeah, okay, all right, good. Anything else that we need to discuss? Anybody else has anything? Ed, Art?
And thanks a lot for looking into Gail's situation here, that, we'll We'll try to help any way we can.
Yeah,
to get
well,
that
we're
out
gonna,
there.
you're gonna check out
Yes.
yeah, and I'm gonna talk to Milton about some, the inspection. And also, pruning on Sixth Street,
Whether there's a bid, whether a bid has been,
right,
has
right,
been
well, we got the
sought
bid.
out for that,
Right.
for those trees.
Right. And also.
And I
we
think we
talked-
also need to talk to them about the stump. Whether we have a contract with.
Whether that
um,
stump is on the list of the,
Yeah, well,
ones that are.
yeah.
Okay. All right, and also, I'm gonna talk to, Diane D'Agato about that report book.
Yeah.
Cause that would be really good to have.
Wouldn't that be great?
It
Yeah,
would be.
Yeah,
It would be so much easier than having to,
Right.
recreate everything every week.
especially when someone comes in, you can refer to their case and say, whoops, or.
Yeah,
oh,
here it
wait a
is.
minute,
Right,
that's been
exactly.
done.
Okay, anybody wanna make a motion to adjourn?
Check here. I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting tonight.
Second?
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, thank you. Thank you all, thank you for
Yeah.
coming.
It should be on the record, but I think we should also thank the persons who donated the 6 trees that were
Yeah, was
planted
that
this past,
anonymous or
couple
was
weeks
that?
ago.
It's just anonymous that someone stepped up and.
Someone?
something.
Okay.